All right. Come on in. 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 Let's talk about it. Come on in, everybody. Listen, man, I got a couple people that wanted me to go live. So you know what? You know what USCJ say he's going to do? I'm going to do what the people want, man. So come on in, man. Tap in for a minute. We're going to invite a couple of people in real quick. We got to talk about this because Lincoln Riley, despite of what people say, they can say whatever they want to say. But one thing they can't say about Lincoln Riley is that he's not the quarterback guru. He's the quarterback that coached all the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts, big salute. He got him one. So you guys can come in for a minute, man. We'll talk about it. But look, man, Jalen Hurts got him one. Lincoln Riley is what we call an officially a quarterback guru. I'm gonna put the link in here. I won't be on here long. I have to get up early, but you guys can tap in real quick, man, and we'll talk about this. When you really look at this thing now, if you're a quarterback, well, let me kind of start back real quick. What's up, big dog? Tap in if you can. If you're a quarterback, why wouldn't you want to play for Lincoln Riley? Think about all the quarterbacks. There's no other college coach right now that you can really think of that from a success standpoint, from a quarterback standpoint, that does what Lincoln Riley does. And when you look at the quarterbacks in play right now, whether it's, I'll even go back to a guy like Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler is even successful right now. So we're going to open this up real quick. Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, it goes on and on and on. The link is in the chat. We'll go over this together, man. So let's talk about it. Hey, he's a non-Heisman, but listen, he won a Super Bowl. I'm not going to say which one would you want more, but look, the Super Bowl kind of makes up. And we know the Jalen Hurts, the thing that he went through with Tua at Alabama before he transferred to Oklahoma. But let's talk about it. Rye, what's the word?
Man, blessings to God, man. It's good to be back on here at USC.
Hey, man, let the church say amen. You know, this was kind of a long day, but, you know, I got a couple people that wanted me to tap in. So I said, you know what? We got to do what the fans want, man. We got to talk about this real quick. Lincoln Riley being the quarterback guru, man. You know what? I think Lincoln Riley needed this under his belt, though.
Definitely.
Because, you know, his quarterbacks, a lot of people, you know, they were starting to say that Lincoln Riley quarterbacks were flops when they got to the NFL. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've noticed that for a while. I'm like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. He's put, you know, I think some of his quarterbacks, though, you know, some of them didn't have the right coaching once they got to the NFL. Because we all know once you get to the NFL, you know, it's about, I mean, a lot of those, I mean, look at Caleb down there in Chicago, man. Look at his situation. And he still put up over 4,000 yards passing. He had he had a great rookie season. You know, but he was under duress the whole season, just like how we saw Patrick Mahomes tonight. Boy, he was under duress.
Oh, he was under duress. Well, speaking of that, we could talk about that too, because when you look at the D'Anton Lynn defense, I think that's the kind of the pattern that they're gonna follow right there. It's how those guys, defensive back wise, how those guys are flying around to the ball and how they moving and grooving. Philly, and so, but when you look at this quarterback position, I think now, especially this new guy that we supposedly he's on the radar now that's coming. I don't know if you've seen the videos though. His name is
Jonah from
Jonah.
Jonah
Williams. Yeah. I don't know. You know, if I'm him, if I'm looking at this right now, this is why I put this picture up, man. A lot of these guys they watch and then you look, you know, it's like, hey, we're gonna promote this thing to the fullest because at the end of the day, Lincoln Riley does have success. Now, here's the question I have for you. Now that, and I'm sure Jalen Hurts should be back at practice. He was at practice this last year. Now that Jalen Hurts has won this Super Bowl, let me say this though. First, I'm happy for Jalen Hurts, man. Like, 100%. Like, how you feeling about that? First of all,
man, I was definitely rooting for that. You know, I think for a lot of us as you know brothers, you know, to see somebody, you know, like him to that we might look at like, oh, he really represents who we is more than some other QBs and everything. But for him to really go out there and just play his game, you know, I thought in his first matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, where I think that first performance, he had 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards passing. And then he's money in the postseason. And
Yeah.
I was really rooting for this kid. I knew coming in that they was gonna win.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought with that D line that they have, man, that's like probably one of the best defenses
Yeah.
I've probably seen, especially in just in that performance in the Super Bowl. I noticed one thing. I would definitely say this: when I saw Patrick Mahomes under duress the entire time, I said he's not gonna win. The last
It
time he
didn't. It
was
didn't
under,
look from the beginning. It didn't look right, man. Like he
it
just
didn't
was
at
just.
all.
Hey, hold on for 1 second, Sooner fan. You finally got something to root for. I mean, you would. Hey, shout out to you though, man. Sooner Cowboy, you got something to root for, I guess now. Hey, he's an Alabama and Oklahoma quarterback. No, I'm just messing
Yeah,
with you.
that's true.
But I'm giving him the Lincoln Riley though, man. Hey, for real,
Yeah,
shout out to Oklahoma for getting their quarterback a Super Bowl.
I
But
think he improved better once he was under Lincoln Riley than he
oh,
was.
absolutely. If you recall, Nick Saban told him to go there. You
Yep,
remember?
yep.
Yeah. Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Yep. Nick Saban told him to go. So I thought that was a great move. But there are a lot of people, they try to pull some of the same stuff that they do with some of the quarterbacks, man. Maybe Jalen Hurts is not a quarterback. Maybe he's a running back. All this,
Mm-hmm.
the crazy stuff that they do with him. But man, that dude got a rocket. And I think
Oh my God, he
he got a
do.
rocket, bro. He got a rocket. B tap in.
That bomb he threw to who's the QB that came from and the wide receiver that came from Alabama down the middle. I mean,
Oh
he
yeah,
threw a
yeah.
50-60 yard. I was like, oh man, that kid got it. He ready,
No,
man.
no,
He
he
takes
got
off.
it, man. And he got, the first play, I think it was around the first series of the game when he ran, it might have been like a QB draw or something, man. I knew he just looked like he was on point, like he was ready to get
Oh
it
yeah.
popping, man. He just like, hey, Saquon, this is gonna be me today, man. You know what I mean? Saquon been balling all playoffs, but
Oh,
this
the
was
whole
this was
entire playoff run.
yeah, yeah. This was Jalen Hurts day here, man, and I want to salute him, man. So when you look at the quarterback position, man, from moving forward with Lincoln Riley, um, should it be any question right now? And look, here's another question, and I got a couple people tapping in. Should we be questioning Lincoln Riley's decision as to who he picks for quarterback? Because that has been up for discussion right now. Everybody,
Definitely.
the couch potatoes. I'm not. I'm not. Don't let me say couch potatoes. The couch fans. They like to, kind of pick it for Lincoln Riley. I think Lincoln Riley knows, just like he felt like Miller Moss should have been there in the beginning. Then he moved to Jaden Maiava. So whoever Lincoln Riley says, look, man, or if it's Hassan Longstreet. Listen, I trust Lincoln Riley to the fullest based on his track record. His track record says Jalen Hurts. Track record says all these different quarterbacks. And so I'm with it, man. What's your thoughts? And Christian, what's up?
Yeah, 100%, man. I think
What's going on, brother?
going into spring ball, and then what's going to be really telling is we all know Hassan Longstreet has the physical tools. His
Yeah,
thing is going to be picking up that playbook, but sometimes, man, when you just got it, you got the feel of the game.
yeah,
You got the team behind you. You put everything on the money. You just the team is all behind you, man. I think you just got to go with the best player. So
yeah,
I think this spring the spring game is going to really tell it, because I went to the last spring game, and like you said, I watch all your videos, man. You was like, yo, man, everybody's saying Jaden Maiava. He got the physical tools to really like push the offense, but Miller won it because of his knowledge of the book. And that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. I think if Hassan, because he's been already in practice, right? He's already been out there for practice, right?
Yeah, yeah. He actually practiced during the bowl game. So hey, we'll see what happens. I think he's getting hey, salute to you, Kamasi. I think he's getting the feel right now for the playbook, and he's been getting the feel since practice. So I think look,
That's a
may the best
plus.
man win. And
Yeah.
and that and Christian, you can answer this question too. I don't care. I'm not gonna say I don't care who wins, but I just trust Lincoln Riley enough to know that he's gonna put the best player in based on his track record. We see what's going on right now with the quarterback. So I'm not even gonna question it. I'm not even gonna say who's gonna win. I'm just gonna say, look, may the best man win. I did the same thing with all positions last year. What's your thoughts, Christian?
Yeah, just to the last statement, with Longstreet, I think it's gonna come down to more than knowing the playbook. It's going to be
Yeah,
also coming from an offense in high school where it's a one read offense, right? It's going to come down to being able to read the defense progression and also the speed of the college game, which is
yeah,
different from high school. So that's a lot
yeah,
he's going to have to unwrap in the spring. But again, at the end of the day, I trust Riley, and whatever Riley go with is what I'm gonna go with, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, a lot of people, you know, about last year, they're like, "Oh, Riley is a fraud, this and this," but that's really not factual. With the tools that Riley had, that he had available, right? We got to remember, we did go get a top quarterback in that. What's the guy name that transferred from Boise?
yeah. Malachi Nelson, and I think
We
people
had
forget
Malachi.
that, man.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had Malachi. So it's not that he didn't have somebody in waiting, whatever. But Malachi ended up having an injury. He wasn't the same after injury. That's not on Riley. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
coming out, Malachi was a can't miss. Quarterback. He was elite, but he had an injury and he decided to transfer out last year. So that put a wrench in things. So with what
yeah,
Riley had, I mean, we had two quarterbacks on the roster until we got Maiava. That next that next spring. So he worked with what he had to work with, and he chose to go with the quarterback who had been in the system, who knew the playbook, right?
yeah.
And until it wasn't working. So again, I trust Riley, and whatever Riley decided to go with, whoever wins out and that's their day one, that's who I'm gonna go with until what I'm saying they prove otherwise.
No, no, that's facts, man. And I know you remember when Jaywalk was on here just few weeks ago. We kind of talked about it, about how you got to get
How Carson
acclimated.
Palmer started. Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay, go ahead.
yes. Well, no, no. Well, that's a part of it. How Carson Palmer started, and he was there for that, and he remembered people had a lot of negative things to say in the beginning about him, but then as time went on, Carson Palmer came back, won the Heisman Trophy, and he wasn't saying that this is the exact way it is with Jaden Maiava, but it's there is a similarity as it relates to these things, and so I think we got to put that in proper perspective and really try to just lock in on that. But I'm like, hey, may the best man win. But I'm talking about from getting acclimated to the game. Though the speed of the game is totally different. He still did play, even though he played in the All Star game, Hassan Longstreet. Even though he played in the All Star game, it was against high school guys. So when you come over here to even a scout team, it's probably the speed is going to be a little bit different for him. You know what I mean?
Right, and different, and then even in the All Star game, they can only run cover three the whole night, and
Yeah,
so it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot different. And Hassan is that guy, and I have
yeah,
faith in him. I mean, if he comes out day one sprint, and he's the guy, he started, he can give us a Deshaun Watson freshman year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or
man.
something
That
like
yeah,
if he's that guy, then he's that guy.
yeah,
Um, I feel confident either way that I just to be honest, I feel like Mob is gonna take that stride next year after being in the
yeah,
system and being with Riley and all three for a year. I think he's gonna take that stride because there's only a couple of things we're asking him to clean up, right? Which is a few bad decisions a game, which is just to either eat it, throw away, take off and run, and
yeah.
just don't force it. If he can stop two bad decisions a game, he's gonna be all right because we've seen the high level play from the kids. So it's about just staying locked in and not making that crazy
Yeah,
play that we're like, man, why'd you do that? So
yeah.
I think we're good. I definitely trust Riley. Whatever pops out and happen day one, hey, we're gonna ride with it like we roll with Moss until we start seeing otherwise, and Riley made the decision. So
I don't think we're gonna know in the spring. I think Riley's gonna keep that close. But here's another thing. Another people they forget about Sam Hewitt. He was a 5 star. Like I don't think we could just throw him away and just forget about him. It's no telling. He was hurt when he came into college. I think, and so I think the fact that he was a dual threat, he was a 5 star guy. His uncle's now the quarterback coach slash offensive coordinator. I don't think we could sleep on him either. I'm not sleeping on any of them. He might be the type of guy that just come from absolutely out of nowhere and just throw haymakers on everybody and just start moving and grooving. Man, what you think?
that's possible. I'm gonna be honest. Outside of his name and knowing where he was coming out of high school as far as being a 5 star, I don't know much about him, so I haven't seen him play. So I can't even. really
Yeah,
comment on here. Because I ain't one of them people who just don't, you know what I'm saying? So, but I haven't seen any film on him, so I don't know what his technique look like, arm strength, how fast. I haven't seen any film on him, so I don't know anything about here to be honest.
yeah. Overall, what you thinking about Jalen Hurts' performance tonight?
Man, I'm glad that he got the monkey off his back. I mean, because now it's like, what can they say now? Right? What can they say? They say he's not elite. They say he's not good because of the team he's on and all the key pieces and all that. Man, and the guy's just a winner, right? He was a winner in high school, winner at Alabama, winner at Oklahoma, winner. I mean, he's just a winner. Like
Yeah,
I don't care. You can put a quarterback with the Eagles and they won't succeed. There's a
yeah.
lot of quarterbacks in the NFL you can put in the Eagles team
Hey,
and they will not be great.
Donovan McNabb was one of my favorite players. He made it to the top, but
Yeah.
you know,
And I'm saying there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL right now you can put on that Eagles team and they
oh
wouldn't be
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So it's not
that's yeah,
it's not
yeah,
that it's not that yeah he's on a good team, but the kid he can play, man, and finally he gonna hopefully he get a respect and the silly naysayers get off his back, man. Like he's good.
no, he's legit, man,
I mean,
and
you can't take none of. He's a Super Bowl
yeah.
MVP, Super Bowl champion now. What could you
So,
say? He
so,
just got
so what you
MVP. So
so let me what do you think the quarterback? What do you think quarterbacks value more, the Super Bowl or a Heisman? Because you look at Tua passed. I'm not gonna say passed him up, but um Jalen Hurts was essentially, I'm not gonna say thrown away because Nick Saban did recommend him going to Oklahoma, but I've always felt like that whole situation was kind of a cold-blooded situation. I never really understood the whole Tua Jalen Hurts thing. Did you? I mean, I it
man,
just to me
yeah.
it didn't make sense
So
to me.
what
It didn't
happened?
look right.
So this is why people got to give Riley his flowers and say Riley is that guy
Yeah,
because when Hurts was at Alabama, he wasn't polished as far as reading coverages and as a passer, he was more of a threat with the run. And so teams start playing him, you know, what I'm
yeah,
saying with spies and dropping back his zone, making a read, and he was
yeah,
struggling. When they got into the national championship, that's what Georgia was doing, and so they had to make a change at halftime to get someone who's in there who's actually, a threat with the passing and true passer.
I
And
remember
Tua
that
came in
now.
there,
Yeah, you're bringing
and
it back
Tua
to my
and
memory. Yeah,
yeah, they Georgia was dogging them, right? And Tua
yeah,
comes in, and they didn't want to. They stuck with Hurts the whole time, but they had to do what's best for the team. And Tua came in there and walked him down, and walked
yeah,
Jordan down. And after that, there's no way that you could have put Tua back on the bench. Like
yeah,
what he came in there and did, it was no way. And in college, you there was not one person in America that looked at Tua and was like, he's not, what I'm saying, you can't tell me he's not going to be great in the NFL. Like just the effortless way the ball came out of his hand, how pretty it was, the timing, the accuracy. So yeah, that was tough, but I don't think like Hurts was mistreated at Alabama. It was just one of them things. It's like we got to win, and it's what we want at USC. It don't
yeah,
matter if you started last year. The best player needs to be on the field. Who gives the
yeah,
best chance of winning? And
yeah,
that's what happened there. But it shows you the difference because he goes to Oklahoma and Riley turns him into a Heisman contender. I mean, he was lighting it up through the air. Looked totally different.
yeah,
So that's a credit. That's a credit to our coach. So that's why I say keep the faith with Riley and trust what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He got his next best quarterback coming in next with Longstreet. And you see, we trying to stack. Riley used to do. He take a quarterback every other year, just so he didn't have so many, on the bench. But now I think he realized things can happen. And as you can see, now he's trying to stack these classes. Uh,
yeah. He trying to stack them,
with
and let me. I wonder.
You have to. You have to with
You
how these
have
kids
to.
leave the portal, with how they
Yeah,
leaving in the portal and stuff like that. You have
yeah.
to
You
because
you, you
you
do
just
have
can't
to.
take that chance no more.
No, you have to. Young Tiny, what's up, man? Come on, bro. You lost
Young Tiny,
it.
what's up, brother?
Hey, man, you need to tap in, man. Hey,
I'm lost in the Hennessy sauce.
you need to tighten up, brother. Tighten up,
Young
man.
Tiny, Young
Young
Tiny said
Tiny.
he lost in the Hennessy sauce. He's Super Bowl partying.
Hey, back in the day. Well, I'm not gonna say. Anyway, yeah. Hey, I used to be there back in the day, man. I ain't there no more, Young Tiny. But look, man. What was I gonna say? Oh, I think, man. I think we're gonna take. I think it's possible we could take two quarterbacks. I think we could take Ryder Lyons, and I think we could take Jonas Williams. Let's not forget, we call Lincoln Riley the quarterback guru for a reason, based on the fact that he had a Caleb Williams and he had a Spencer Rattler there at the same time. Who was there with Baker Mayfield? Kyler Murray came right after that.
Kyler Murray was there, and he started.
No, he was there. That's right. He was there, and he came the next year. So Lincoln Riley would have these quarterbacks. I mean, he would just be basically spitting them out. So, you know, a lot of people say, well, Jay, why would Lincoln Riley take two quarterbacks? Because this is the way Lincoln Riley has always did it. You see the same way he was recruiting other quarterbacks, whether it was Malachi Nelson, he had other quarterbacks in the fold as well, but some just didn't commit. Now, we are living in a day and time where it's a little bit different with the NIL, all that stuff in the transfer portal. So that makes it a little bit tricky because guys are not loyal to the soil and essentially want to stay up under the quarterback coach the way they used to. That's the part that I think makes it different.
Saying. But it makes it difficult, but I'm saying even more, that's why you have to stack them. Because people are leaving.
Yeah.
Like you can't just take one and be like, okay, this is my quarterback away, and then he not playing the first year. He transfer out the next spring, and you done passed up on another 5-star. That's what I'm saying. We go, and Lions ain't gonna be able to play the 27 anyway. So you go ahead and stack. You take Williams and Lions, and then that way, if one of them transfer out, you still got one in waiting. But if you only take one transfer out, you got nothing.
Absolutely. Hey, listen. Hey, you got Alabama. You got Oklahoma fans coming on here. Oklahoma got a Super Bowl quarterback. Now here's an Alabama. hey, they going back and forth right now. Who want to claim them? Listen, I think it's both.
Okay, now this is how we gonna do it, right?
No, well, we can do it the way we talked about Tua, but we. Hey, how you want to do it?
This is what I'm gonna say. So if you look at NFL stats, right? One stat that was intriguing coming into this Super Bowl was that there has never been an Alabama player to score in a Super Bowl. But guess what? Jalen Hurts played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago and scored on the ground 3 times. So what that tell you? The NFL don't see him as an Alabama quarterback. They see him as Oklahoma.
And think about
Oklahoma quarterback. Oklahoma quarterback got a Super Bowl.
Hey,
all right,
listen.
Alabama.
Hey,
when you look in the record book for
thank
NFL, it's not under Alabama. He's under Oklahoma. To this day, no Alabama player has scored in the Super Bowl.
And you can't bench the man. You can't bench the man, and now you want to claim him. You know, a lot of people. I mean, how you gonna bench the man and want to claim him though? To me, that ain't fair, bro. Like Oklahoma, he did his thing with Oklahoma. He moved the groove with him, and look, Lincoln Riley developed him to be a better quarterback. And by the way, you see it on here. Your coach told him, Saint Nick, God bless Saint Nick. Saint Nick told him to go ahead and take that.
What up, B?
Go to Oklahoma.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
What's the word, man?
Hey, Jay, that's like Oklahoma trying to take credit for Caleb Williams' Heisman.
Winning the Heisman, yeah.
That's the same
thing. No. Hey, listen, Alabama fan. Much love to you. Salute to your program. You a blue blood, but you don't have a Super Bowl winning quarterback tonight. It goes to Oklahoma.
They go to Oklahoma.
It goes.
They push that kid out. They push that kid out of there, man. For Tua.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't having much success, and I think it was the was it the SEC championship game or was it the Natty?
It was the national championship game. Against Georgia, right? Against Georgia. Yeah, national championship game.
So he wasn't having much success, and actually, Georgia had a great game plan around him. What they didn't plan for was for Tua to throw the ball. So they pushed that kid right on out of there, man. Now that he went to Oklahoma, and rightfully so. You know, if you got this freshman in front of you that's playing ball, chances are you're not gonna get the job back. And from what I understand, Saban did advise him to go to Raleigh.
He did.
Yeah. So they can't claim him now.
Yeah.
That's an Oklahoma quarterback. More so, what's more important what's more telling is he's a Raleigh quarterback. He's from the Raleigh tree.
That's what I said for the simple fact. Riley pushed him to another level.
Right. Riley took it. Actually, he went to New York that very same year for the Heisman.
Yeah, he went Heisman.
Yeah. So, you know, Riley was able to go in there.
Who won it that year? Was it Bryce? Was it Tua? Who was that? I can't even. My
I think it
mind.
was Bryce. I think it was Bryce Young, wasn't it?
I can't even
Was it
remember.
Bryce Young? I
I
want to say it was
Not
Bryce
when
Young.
Bryce Young. No, it could have been Bryce Young because
Two,
Tua
two
was the
of them
quarterback
win
at
it.
Alabama.
Two of them
no,
win
did
it though.
Tua go to the
Two of number
ceremony? I'm
one.
trying to remember. Did he even go to the ceremony? I can't even remember. But
Yeah,
Yeah, but it
two of them
wasn't
win.
Bryce Young because Bryce Young couldn't be winning a Heisman at quarterback if Tua was Alabama starting quarterback
no,
at that
no, no,
point in
no,
time.
no, no. You're right. You're right. I'm trying to think who was in that. But anyway, B, we talking about Lincoln Riley being solidified now
Right.
as the true quarterback. And you know, coming in, you know, there were a lot of people kind of mocking Lincoln Riley as far as
Mm-hmm.
is he still the quarterback guru? Well, I think tonight kind of helped put icing on the cake for tonight. You can kind of give your thoughts on it. I think icing on the cake, Lincoln Riley's still that guy, and it's
Uh-huh.
nothing that they could take from him. Look at all the
Yeah.
success he has right now with quarterbacks in the league.
Right. So what people don't realize is that Lincoln Riley actually changed the trajectory of Jalen Hurts' career by taking
Absolutely.
him into Oklahoma because no other school was really beating down this kid's door, but he fit into that system just like a Caleb Williams, just like a top Kyler Murray, just like a Baker Mayfield. He fit like a glove into that system.
Yeah.
So if it were not for Lincoln Riley, this kid, who knows which direction this kid's career may have gone. But
Yeah.
no, he got him back on track. So shout out to Lincoln Riley, man. You know, he is that quarterback whisperer, that quarterback guru, man. And any kid, you know, that's considered to be a top quarterback prospect coming out of high school, man. If you don't look at USC and Lincoln Riley
I'm
first,
trying to
man,
tell you.
something wrong with you, man. Something wrong
No,
with
no. Hey, so that begs the thought. Should we take two quarterbacks, Jonas Williams and
you. Yeah,
Ryder Lyons?
we got to because we can't take a chance on what happened this past season and be stuck with no quarterbacks. You got to remember, Lincoln Riley put all of his chips behind Lewis. And
Yeah,
Lewis ended up playing games, and we were almost left without one had he not gone in and really put the full court press on Longstreet. Who knows? We may not have even have had a quarterback this season, to come out of high school. So I
yeah,
think they dropped. I think they dropped. I think they dropped that whole Lewis fiasco just in the nick of time to sow up Longstreet, and now Longstreet is probably glad that he did stick with decide to decommit from Texas A&M and come over to USC.
yeah.
Hey
Amelia,
Jay,
hold on for 1 second, Christian. You said Riley QB guru label is fading. Moss struggles. Williams plateau. Well, listen, Amelia, you got to remember when Caleb Williams, his senior year, well, no, his junior year, he still threw. He was still up for the Heisman. He was still he still threw Heisman numbers. But that was the year you talk about Michael Penix, Bo Nix, all those guys,
Mhm.
and but Caleb Williams threw for 4,000 yards this year.
And
And
Jay, I don't mean to cut you off, but Moss was not Lincoln Riley's quarterback. Let's
no,
just
no,
get
no,
that
no.
straight first.
We already know that.
And he
Yeah,
didn't fit. He doesn't fit the mold. He's a pure pocket passing
right,
quarterback, man. So no,
right.
you can't say that. Riley label is fading. It's not fading. As a matter of fact, you would say it's even got more shine to it because of who won the Super
Yeah,
Bowl tonight.
yeah,
I mean, that makes no sense. The guy has three Heisman Trophy quarterbacks. Three of them went number one, and now the fourth one just won the Super Bowl. I don't know
Now,
what he's looking
yeah,
at.
and
no,
here
now,
and also this, and also
hey,
this.
hold on, 1 second, Chris. Amelia, what I will say though, this year we should know though for sure, like Jaden Maiava and Hassan Longstreet, we'll kind of have those are more of his type of quarterbacks. So I think we have a better idea as to what's shaping up. Lincoln Riley's never had a quarterback like that's like Miller Moss. Baker Mayfield was way more mobile than a guy like Miller Moss. And it's not taking nothing
Right.
away from Miller Moss. Please don't think I'm disrespecting him. But I'm just saying so. But I get what you're saying, and I understand you saying, but I just think that's not necessarily the case though. But I appreciate your comment though.
And also, and before we say that he
That
wasn't
nigga
successful with
talent.
Moss, before he wasn't,
What
before we
talent?
said he was, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Can
hear
you
Yeah,
you.
hear
I
yeah,
me?
hear
you
you.
can just
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
Okay.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Before we say he wasn't successful with Moss, we need to see what Moss do at Louisville and all that. For one, we
Yeah,
don't have no measure stick to know where Moss was at before Riley got there, because it's not that Moss did perform just terribly and he was like garbage. He wasn't, because if you look at his numbers and stuff while he's in,
He threw
though he had
some
his
decent
issues.
numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
though he had his issues, he still was like in the tops of yards per game, and touchdowns and things like that in the country. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he had his struggles, and again, you know, that's not a Riley QB, and he just wasn't with Riley that much, because Riley was working with Caleb, so he wasn't he didn't get that work in that 1 year he was there with Riley before that year. So before we say that, we need to see a measure stick. Let's see what Moss is next year. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't
Yeah,
see Moss before, so we
you remember we did I did a quarterback comparison and overall offensive comparison with Lincoln Riley, how his offense went from 50% running ratio to pass, and how it declined significantly. Like
I remember
it
that,
was
Jay. I
50%,
remember that.
50%, and it was based on the quarterback play. So that the quarterback equates for some of the running that takes place within Lincoln Riley's offense, and it was a significant drop just because Miller wasn't running like that. Jaden Maiava ran just a slight bit more in the beginning, but for whatever reason he kind of tapered back from that. So yeah, let's see what happens with Miller Moss, and we can kind of. But Miller Moss, like I said, I've always said this. I never came off this statement. I think Miller Moss is a good quarterback for a pro style offense. I think he will fit in a pro style offense, provided he has protection. He can put the ball in certain places, but he got to do the same thing. He has to watch what Jaden Maiava has to watch. He can't throw. You can't overthrow guys. You can't. I mean, they both have watch the same type of thing.
Well, in order
and
for you
I meant to
be
tell y'all real fast,
productive,
and I'll let you go. I found the answer. Jalen Hurts came in second that year in the Heisman
Yeah.
to Burrow from
oh,
LSU.
okay, that's right, that's right, that's
Yeah.
right.
No, he wasn't winning that. No,
Yeah, he
no,
came
no,
in
no.
second that year to
Yeah,
Burrow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot
have to
about that.
remember. You have to remember. In order for Lincoln Riley's offense to really go, the quarterback must be somewhat of a threat to pull that ball down and run it. That keeps the defensive ends honest. That keeps those linebackers honest. That keeps the entire defense on their toes. Really, you want that defensive end to be second guessing himself. If I dive straight down the line, he gonna pull it,
Yeah,
and run out. If I don't dive down the line, the running back gone. So it's really depending on that. And Moss is not that type of quarterback. Again,
yeah,
this is no knock against Moss, but he just doesn't fit Riley's system. That's all that's all it is.
yeah. Hey, my man Joseph, we agree. Moss, he wasn't. He was not garbage during his time at USC. Moss at times showed he did. Just like Jaden Mott, they both showed potential. And I'm gonna say this the same way I said against LSU. Moss played great.
Mhm.
Against Notre Dame, pretty much that whole game, Jaden Maiava played great. The second half against Texas A&M, Maiava looked like an incredible quarterback. So they both the consistency thing with both of them. And let's don't forget some of the critical plays. And I'm not here to bash nobody, but some of the critical plays why we lost some of the games we lost, whether it's Penn State, whether it's we could talk about the Michigan, Minnesota, Maryland, whatever. But there were some critical plays that cost us, and it was due to quarterback play, as well as when Maiava came in. So look, I think Lincoln Riley's turning the curve as far as recruiting these guys like Hassan Longstreet. I think he's that guy, but we'll see who gets to start, gets the nod. I still feel like Maiava still has the lead based on his knowledge of the offense, the same way Miller had a lead.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say what I always say: may the best man win. What you guys' thoughts? Anthony, what's up, my man? What's up?
Is Kristen
Uh,
still on?
Yeah,
yeah.
Chris.
Mine is. I thought you was gonna go first, B. So I was.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mine is the same. It's like I said the other night. I think that Maava will be our starter day one. It's not only just knowledge of the playbook, but
Mhm.
experience of playing in those big games on the college level with the
Yeah,
college speed. Being in that Notre Dame, Notre Dame top defense, playing against Nebraska, that top
yeah.
defense. UCLA had a
That
good defense.
that confidence
Texas,
level.
yeah,
Right.
Texas ain't being in those games, and like unfortunately I wasn't good enough to play big time D1 ball. I played at Central Arkansas, and even playing in that stadium was much different than playing on my high school stadium.
Yeah,
Just the atmosphere, the noise, and all that. and just getting acclimated. And the speed was different because no longer is my sure athletic ability gonna make me dominate everybody. Now I'm
Right.
playing with and playing against everybody who's the best person at their school, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at your school, you're the best player at your school you're going to get, and most times you're the best player going against the other teams. You know what I'm saying? But when you get to college, everybody there was the best player at their school. You know what I mean? And so just the speed and everything, so and all that was different. So I do think Maiava is going to be the starter going in just for that and the knowledge and just the experience factor. Um, Again, may the best man win. If it's a close, I still think Maia's gonna get it. The only way I see Longstreet being the day one starter is like he has to go in and prove that hands down, no question, he's ready and he's that much higher than Maiava.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with you.
Yes.
B,
So
what you?
so what I say is, Miami will face some stiff competition towards the end of the season. We played the rivalry game. He played against, who was it? Wisconsin, right? Was it Wisconsin he
No,
played
no, no,
against?
no. That was Miller for West. He played against
No, no,
Nebraska.
no.
Yeah,
Nebraska. All right, so he played Nebraska.
which they did have a good defense. Remember what they did
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Ohio
yeah.
State?
Yeah, so he played Nebraska. He played against UCLA, which is rivalry game. It's always tough. And he played against Notre Dame. And then he won, in the bowl game against an SEC type defense. Whether
Right.
they agree they had in their starters or not, there was still an SEC defense. I think
But B,
Miami
remember
get it.
we have more starters out on offense, so
Right.
even
I
matchup.
think I think Maiava get it, especially if we see that Maiava that was in the last 5 minutes of the third and the entire fourth quarter. I think he'll get it. Whatever mode he was in then, whatever plays Riley was calling in, I
Yeah.
think that's the. I think we need to keep him in that mode now. So my only question would be, who would be the backup? We can't overlook Hewitt, the transfer
Well,
kid.
before you came on, I was that's actually what I was saying. I said, look, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was a 5-star. He was a dual threat guy when he came out.
Right.
You absolutely can't look
Yeah.
over him. I'm not looking
Yeah.
over
So
anybody.
right. So
Yeah.
I think the only hiccup that might come about, I think he's a left hand quarterback, correct?
Who's that?
So Hewitt, isn't he left hand?
I
Isn't he
can't
a
even
left
remember.
hand?
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie
So
to you.
so his blind side would be the right tackle,
Right.
and that's
Right.
the tackle that we have to show. Maybe somebody could correct me or whatever, but I think Hewitt is left. He's a left hand quarterback. So that would change the entire dynamic of how Riley's going to call the plays, depending on who we have at right tackle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
We'll see. So, who do you guys think played the tougher SEC team at the time that they played them? LSU, Miller Moss, or Jaden Maiava, Texas A&M?
I'm gonna say Texas. I'm gonna say Texas A&M for the simple fact we was down everybody except for center on the offensive line,
That's a great point. I didn't even
and
think of it that way. I didn't even think of it that way. Yeah.
we were we were
Yeah.
down everybody on the offensive line except our starting center. And though they had their three interior people not play, Texas
Yeah.
A&M is at a position right now where they're plug and play, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
they have 5 stars going to the portal, can't see the field, and they're big and fast. That defensive end that they had, that Rick shop against us all night. I mean,
Yeah.
he been wrecking shop all year. I mean, he had a sack, he had that interception on the screen against us. Like
You're talking about for Texas
Texas
A&M?
A&M, yeah, so they still had those dudes up there, and we were playing young guys for the first time, and they held their own. So that was tougher. That was a tougher, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
pill to follow. And then we all knew going into the LSU game, what is LSU weakness? They couldn't cover. They DBs were worse than ours with the Alex Rich, right? That was the weakness of their defense. You know what I'm saying? Texas A&M didn't have a holes back there at corner and safety and covering that. So with that, I think the Texas A&M was tougher to face.
Yeah. Yeah. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I
Hey,
would say Texas A&M was tougher also.
you say okay. AVS, you said Moss wouldn't have beat Dart. Well, I mean, you remember Moss was actually there when Dart was there. You remember Moss Jackson Dart went down there and lit Washington State up. You guys remember that? I think
I
Gary
remember
Bryant
that.
was there and all that. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, he didn't beat him out
No,
then. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because Dart came in. Ooh, we forgot about that too, though.
Had Caleb not come, Dart would have stayed a bit of quarterback. No doubt.
Yeah, and we forgot about that. Dart ended up starting. He didn't start at the beginning of the season.
But
Slovis did,
he
but
came
he
in and
came
started.
in. He kept
Yeah,
his true freshman year and
yeah,
balled out.
and
So it's
balled
possible
out.
Longstreet can. Yeah,
Yeah. And I was extremely high on him, man. I darn near cry when he left. I'm not even gonna lie. Like
man. The
Jackson
only
Dart.
reason he left, the
Yeah, it
only
was
reason he left though, because he
yeah,
knew Riley was coming. He knew Caleb was coming, so he was
yeah,
like,
yeah. But I was super high on Jackson Dart, man. That dude was like,
yeah.
I could tell back then he had that X factor. He was Gatorade Player of the Year, I think, the year he came out, if I'm not mistaken.
So
But
I don't know if
he
y'all
went down
follow
there to Kiffin
NFL.
though. He went down there to Kiffin, so Kiffin he was in good hands.
Yeah, he was in good hands.
Down there with
He did his
Kiffin.
thing. Matter of fact, I think
And
there's some rumors.
I don't know if you guys keep up with the NFL and stuff what's going on too, like that with the Senior Bowl and all that stuff. But he on everybody's list. He's the person
Yeah,
who's improved their
yeah.
draft up. They're moving up,
That
and
I was just
Milrow was moving down.
man. I don't
Oh
even
man.
want to. And people were well, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Brian then was the one I was trying to tell him about. I was trying to tell him about
I
Milrow.
was saying bring him in because I saw him as another Jalen Hurts type project. Maybe Riley could have fixed him like
Like he did
he
hurt.
made
Yeah,
like he did Hurts. But yeah,
got
of
you.
course I was like,
but the
yeah,
thing was,
bring that
though,
kid in, man.
I feel what you're saying, but to me, the way I viewed
Hurts
it,
was further along
he
before
was
when.
way further along, man.
Yeah,
Than I don't know.
No. Hurts got me. I mean, now Milrow got an arm on him, man. He got a
Oh, he
rocket
got
on
a
him, and he's
he got a cannon. Yeah, no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah, and he can fire that ball down the field, and he's fast. I think he's faster than any quarterback that that has ever been at Alabama. The kid got some wheels on him, man. So yeah, I was like, if he's gonna be able to do it and not be a you know uh high price commodity, definitely bring him in and just work your magic like you did with Hurts.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, look, everybody, the link. I just came on. I had a couple people that wanted me to come on. So look, I wanted to do a little bit of call-in show. Wanted to talk about Lincoln Riley still being the quarterback guru. We can't take that away. Instant reaction for the Super Bowl. The link is in the chat. Those who want to come in. We've been on here 42 minutes. Maybe go for another few more minutes. And yeah, Michael Trigg. I remember that. Michael Trigg. He was a baller.
And I was correct. Sam Hewitt, that's the backup quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is left hand. He's a left hand quarterback. So
Okay.
the right tackle will be his blind side, as opposed
Right.
to
Right.
everybody else. So would that change everything? Do you move Page over to the right side? No. So that could be another factor also, man. With Hewitt.
Yeah, let me shout out Tobias Thomas. Hey, thank you for the super chat. If Marcel Reed hits the portal, do we go after him considering they have a QB coming in? So who is the QB coming in? I know Hassan Longstreet was their guy. Who is a possibility for it to happen? Milrow didn't have the OC. That hurts. I really like Reed though. I'm not gonna front.
Who is that? Who is that?
That's the quarterback from Texas. That's the quarterback from Texas A&M. But I don't think we go after him. I really don't.
This is what I say. If you want to crucify Maiava for 2 bad decisions a game and 2 turnovers a game, how can you want to bring Reed in when he has the same issue?
And he did the same thing against us. How many interceptions did he throw against us?
2.
Yeah,
and he's not. But he did that a lot of the season at Texas A&M. Not only that is he's not a better passer than Jaden Maiava is.
No, he's not. But
So
he's a better runner. I think that's what a lot of people are looking at.
Yeah, he is a better runner.
And he'll take off pretty quick. Now the dude can go though. You saw how he took off against us. He can go. We got to give him that credit. But to your point, Christian, he's not even like here's what I don't understand. Like, what is it about Maiava that the fans hate so much? I just don't. I don't see it to the point to where, like, did they not see what he did against Notre Dame? Like, he was really.
I don't know what they're looking at, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, look, Lord, you guys remember the Penn State quarterback didn't even do that. What Jay Maiava did against Notre Dame. Yes, we had the little stuff at the end.
You said Notre Dame, but you got to take it back. What he did against Nebraska, he put up the most points on the Nebraska defense. Ohio
Yep.
State won the national championship and couldn't put up more than 17 points on them.
I was
You
watching
know what
that
I'm saying?
game. I was watching that
What
game. Yep.
what he did against Nebraska, Notre Dame put up the most points on them. We seen Drew Allard couldn't do it. We see that we still put up more points than Ohio State did on Notre Dame. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Uh, uh, Texas A&M, same thing. We put up more points than DJ Lagway
Yep.
and Georgia them did on them. So I don't, I don't. Our fan base, like I don't know.
Hey,
Listen,
I just
man,
don't know, bro.
have we started Maiava, man, early in the season, man, it's no question we probably have one of those playoff spots. No question about it.
yeah. Well, you saying if we started them? I don't know.
Earlier in the season, well, let me bring it back to your memory.
I ain't
I've
gonna go that
been
far, but
calling
I
for
mean,
that.
I feel what you're
I've
saying.
been calling for that, man. I was like, look, man,
Yeah,
we need to
you
put
have.
this kid in there. I
I'll
was
give
like,
you that credit.
this was early in the season. I was like, no, man, no package. Forget those packages. Bring this kid in and let him start.
Yeah,
Let him
I
play.
think I know what
Yeah.
I think I know what it is. You know, Miller Moss was a Trojan through
hometown
and
hero,
through.
hometown hero.
He stayed right. So I think most fans wanted. I mean, we all wanted. I would have wanted it. I would have wanted him to have a movie story, and he win the national championship. We said, oh, he stayed. You know, we can always look, but it didn't work and it didn't happen. We got to move on. But I think that's why I think people is hating Maiava because there to them it can't be a USC thing or we Riley got to do his best for the team. They're trying to make it a Maiava versus Moss issue.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Let me say, Joseph says, I'm loving the message from our staff of getting back to shut it down California. I love how we're back to really prioritizing the West Coast and making sure the top prospects stay home. Hey, amen. Let the church say amen. I totally agree. We see them placing big time emphasis on the California guys, man. And they'll branch out from there. But yeah, to your point, we saw what happened last week in the big time recruiter weekend. They said this was the most they've seen in California as a group as a whole in a long time. By the way, Lockhart, the cornerback commit to USC, part of the 2026 class. He put out some statement on Twitter talking about how USC is making an assertive effort. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Y'all have forgot about his in. No, we had listen. Obviously, listen, Brian. You're not obviously you're not listening. Do you forget that they both had interceptions, Miller Moss and
Right.
Eddie Maiava? Like, do you got selective
like,
amnesia, bro?
like Moss didn't throw no picks. Like he ain't throw no picks.
Yeah, it's no
But go ahead.
disrespect. But look, it was a pick six against Michigan, right? Well, you look what happened against Maryland. Critical. Look what happened against Minnesota. Critical.
Right.
Look what happened against Washington. Critical. Like, I mean, I put them in the same boat.
Penn State. Don't forget Penn State.
And that was
Critical.
the game. That was the game losing.
That was for the
interception.
game.
I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking them, but you know, it's like you can't have selective amnesia. You can't pick and choose. To me, the way I look at it, I feel like they both had the same trajectory, except one starts the game off better than the other. Miller Moss starts the game off a little slower. Jaden Maiava seemed like he has a killer instinct. He did it against Nebraska. You can say whatever you want. He did it against Texas A&M. He had what you call a killer instinct against Texas A&M.
And I was gonna say that's the difference. If you look at when the interceptions happen, Miller Moss interceptions happen when we have to have it. When the game was on but when the game was on the line, Maiava went and got it. He did it. You forgot UCLA. We went down to that last drive.
Yeah. He threw a dime to Jacoby in the end zone, like in the corner. In the corner. And somebody had the nerve, man. I posted on my Twitter, talk about lucky throw. I said, man, if you don't get out here, you know what? You about to get blocked just for saying that.
He was rolling.
You talking about lucky
throw. He was rolling. He went right, rolled left, beat the defender on the run, got his shoulders, and threw a dime to where only Lane can catch it. So here's the thing about it. And then even against, it's only one game where we had to have it, and he came up short. And that's when we was down 7, and we got all the way down to the red zone against Notre Dame at the end of the game. And the referees didn't call it, but it was a blatant pass interference.
Yeah.
on that back shoulder. That's the only game. Other than that, all the other games he played in, he went down on the last drive and won the game.
Here's
So
my
I'm gonna
thing.
tell you this. Hold on, one more thing, B. One more thing. When we scored against Texas A&M and they came right back to score, we had 2 minutes left. I guess I wasn't feeling like, oh, here we go again. And again, this is not against Moss, but when Moss was in, I was nervous and scared. I was like, I didn't have the confidence. But after what I seen against Texas A&M, I was on the call with Blackie Chan. We was watching. I said, man, we about to win this game. Mom about to go there. Mom about to take us down there and win this game.
Look,
Like the
it's
confidence
not
was.
everybody. But it's like he turned it on, like he knew he had to do it. Whereas when we saw with Miller, and like I said, man, anybody who's coming on here, please don't think we bashing. We're just doing a comparison.
But
Miller, like Jaden Maiava, it's like he turned it on in that Texas
The
A&M
moment
game.
is
Like
not too big for. The
it
moment
wasn't
is
too
not too
big for
big
him,
for him.
and he didn't even have an expression on his face. I'm like, dang, bro, like, can you tell us like what you thinking or let us know? Give us a smile or something. You get what I'm saying? Like,
who
I
used to
mean,
be like that? Sam and D used to be like that. Sam Darnold used to be exactly like that, man.
yeah,
Then
yeah, Steve
he had
Simmons,
that story look. But they have to
yeah,
remember, again, this kid came in with 3 games left in the season. So he only had those 3 games to prepare at the with the number 1 offense, man.
And in practice
And
yeah,
with him, yeah.
yeah, and practice with him. So, that game against Notre Dame, I felt like, it should have been a penalty call, but you got to remember, the referees wasn't doing us any favors all year
All
long.
year.
So,
Hey, let me ask you
Right.
guys.
but
Let me ask you guys something because I thought when I was watching that game tonight with Kansas City, I saw a lot of people. I instantly went back when the guy in the beginning of the game, when the offensive player put his hand in his
yeah, the
face.
receiver,
That looked like
Yeah.
the same thing that Jaden Maiava was dealing with in that Notre Dame game. To me, that's what it looked like. Did it look like that to you? To me, it
Nah,
did.
because because they called that tonight on the offense. With J.D. Maiava threw that pass to Hutchins, man, that dude grabbed him. That
But
dude grabbed Hutchins.
that's what I'm saying. That was interference. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing it up. But it was a similar type of contact. It was reverse roll, and
mm-hmm,
I just felt like that's what he dealt with. It was a clear push off, man, at the end of the
mm-hmm.
Notre Dame game. And
Yeah, it
people
was
don't
But
like
yeah, it was
they
blatant.
don't like to acknowledge that. They say, "Oh, it's just a pick six."
hmm Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
they of
pick
course.
six that changed the entire momentum of the game. You got to remember, I think we were going down to tie it up, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
we were pretty much blow for blow with Notre Dame,
Absolutely.
and they
Yeah.
played in the national championship. I still think that we had, I still think that my boy Lane should have been in that game. Anytime we're in the red zone, Lane need to be in there, but that's neither here nor there. But that definitely was a pass interference, but. The refs did us no favors all season long. Even in that Penn State game, man, they was hitting receivers before the ball got there. No penalties.
Yeah, it
No
was
penalties
crazy.
whatsoever.
It was crazy, and Moss was victim of some of that. Some of
Right.
Yep.
his receivers got held as well. So I gotta be fair on that end as well, though. So yeah, Amelia, you said USC enough, enough Max Brown.
Who's she calling Max Brown?
I
Who's Max Brown?
that's highly ranked quarterbacks who's bust for the past. Who do you think Max Brown is?
Who's she
Right now,
comparing them to?
currently on the roster.
I hope she's not talking about
Yeah,
Maiava.
because there's nobody on this roster that USC recruited out of high school that other than Longstreet since Riley been there. So she can't be calling Longstreet a bust that's highly recruited.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
yeah. Jake the Snake. Yeah, I agree with you, man. We
Man,
all
this
saying the
is what I
same.
want. But this is what I want you all USC fans to realize. US it wasn't just Maiava. USC as a team played 5 or 6 top 10 defenses this year. And we
Mm-hmm.
outperformed them against anybody on them. Michigan had that top. Minnesota. Remember, Jay was telling y'all, don't sleep on Minnesota. Their defense is ranked. It was number 4 at the time, but everybody was trying to say because they weren't playing nobody. But their defense
Yeah,
still finished in the top. So you had Minnesota, you had Michigan, you had the Penn State, you had Notre Dame, you had Nebraska,
yeah,
and it might be somebody else but I can't think of the whole. But we played 5 or 6 teams that were in the top 10 defense of either run defense, pass defense, or overall defense.
yep. No, I totally agree with you, man. So look, I think he's gonna be straight, man. And like I said, I think right now he's ahead. Um, a lot of people they going crazy over the performance of Hassan Longstreet in the what do you call the Polynesian Bowl, but
Right.
and I was going crazy as well. But I came back to reality and I realized that the college game is going to have to be
It's
a
totally
period of
different.
being acclimated to the speed, to all of it, learning the playbook, going to class. Look, it's so many people don't factor in a lot of things. They just like it's almost like a video game. You just stick people in there based on
They don't know football.
not yeah
I hate to say it. I hate to
yeah
say it. They don't know football.
yeah. Real talk. So look, it's an acclimation period that has to take place. Class, the whole nine, the workload, and then you apply all that stuff on the field as well, man. All that stuff has to translate all together and be successful. So look, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna continue to say, man, may the best man win. We almost been going
And
at this thing for hours. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, may the best man win, of course, and it's
Yeah,
nothing against Longstreet. He's gonna be that next dude from us. But the way you tailor your expectation is, I mean, yes, he played well in the Polynesian Bowl, but you have to keep in mind they was only able to run the cover three defense all game, right? I mean,
yeah,
no man, no two, no blitzes, no nothing like that. Also, you have to look at there were a couple of throws that looked like Maiava throws in that game. There were two that hit defenders dead in the chest and they just dropped it, which could have been interceptions, right? So
yeah,
that's how you tell your projection that this kid is going to be great, but
yeah,
allow him to learn the college game. Get in, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like B always say, you bring a true freshman in there and you rush him and you don't let him have a chance to prepare. Like you can mess the man's whole career up by putting him in too early ahead of time. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
you know you just got to tell your expectation. Yes, we all love him. We all know he's great. He's amazing. He did some wonderful things. I mean, even that last touchdown throw, that was a Maiava throw. He broke a tackle. He launched it 70 yards, threw it in coverage. The wide receiver made an excellent catch. And my God, I wish we can have that guy. Whew.
yeah.
That
Man, you talking
Moore,
about the
that wide
receiver?
receiver.
Yeah, the
Oh boy, I
receiver
seen him
going.
again in another All Star game running punt back. He played in another All Star game.
Well,
He gonna be
Like last
special.
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just today there was a report. What's his name? Moore? Is it De'Arion
yeah,
Moore? Decarion Moore.
Decarion Moore. Yeah.
Real quick, I meant to kind of talk about that before I got off of here. Matter of
whew,
fact, this is
that
today.
boy.
Today, Nick Harris reported the Dallas Cowboys are hiring. And let me say this first. I got a friend, his son played for Oregon. We talked today, and so that was
Don't
a
make me
blow.
wait, Jay.
That,
Don't make me wait. Come on with the news. Don't
no,
make me wait.
I don't have no news, but I'm just saying
Oh,
what I'm about to tell you was a blow. The Dallas Cowboys are hiring Oregon co-offensive coordinator / wide receiver coach Junior Adams as their wide receiver coach. Source confirms. But what
mm,
I'm saying is, this guy has been responsible for like Josh Connerly. He's like a recruiting guy, big time recruiting guy, and he's been getting a lot of. He's part of the reasons like Evans, all these different receivers. Some of the receivers that they have has came there, and from what I'm told, they were shocked. Matter of fact, the tweet came out within 2 minutes. I got the tweet and I sent it to him and I called him. I said, hey, big dog. I said, you see this? He said, oh man, I heard his whole reaction on the phone because his son played there. And so he was like, you gotta be kidding me. And so he was shocked, bro. And so when I'm saying
I
that to
love it.
say, I'm saying
It
that to
might, it
say
might, yeah,
it might trickle
yeah.
down. It might trickle down to maybe USC. We'll see what happens. But I mean, that was a shock today. So I think he was a big part of what Oregon does at from a recruiting standpoint and recruiting receivers. So
I
that's
like
a
to
little
hear it.
that's a little nugget, man. That's a little
If
nugget.
I if I had contact with Longstreet, I'd be telling him right now, hey man, they wide receiver coach. Like, hey, hit your boy up. Y'all had that
Yeah,
chemistry at the Polynesian Bowl. Hey, go hit
yeah,
your boy up. Hit your boy up. Hey, if I,
yeah, yeah.
hey,
Hey, so look, we 59 minutes and 11 seconds. You two, man, give your last comments. What's the conclusion to the matter? I didn't want to do over an hour. Is Lincoln Riley still the guru? Did his stock go back up? There were some people talking about stock was going down. Is Lincoln Riley still the quarterback
No,
guru?
no, no.
Yay or
Yeah,
nay?
yeah. Yeah, from a quarterback perspective, his stock never decreased with me or declined with me. He's always been that guy. And, he
Yeah,
has the results to prove it. My question would be any quarterback that any top tier quarterback that's out there coming out of high school ranks, why would you consider any other team? If Riley comes after you and you're the only quarterback that he's recruiting,
Yeah,
he sees something special in you. So, my suggestion would be to just stick with him. Just stick with him.
All
absolutely.
right. This
I
is
agree
what
with
I
that.
this is what I'll say. Even if I don't agree, but even I mean I agree, but I don't agree with this statement with people saying he's not because of this season. For something to happen for something to happen once, it's anonymous. You got to look at the totality of work of the last 6, 7 years, right? Three Heisman. I mean, what? No, yeah, three Heisman, one finish second, three first number one overall pick. Four of them are all four of them are starting in the NFL. One just won
Mhm.
Super Bowl MVP playing in his second one. The other one lost in the playoffs this year. The other one's a rookie that broke all the franchise records and all that without an offensive line. Kyler Murray was up for just 2 years ago when Cliff Kingsbury was there, took them to the playoffs, was
Yep.
up for MVP. So I'm gonna hit you with the Bill Cosby. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
the proof is in the
No,
pudding.
that's real talk. That's real talk. I agree with you on that. I 100% agree with both of you guys, man. The conclusion to the matter, we shutting all the noise down from all the negative Nancy's. I'm calling them negative Nancy's, man, because that's what they are. They find something
Mhm.
to pick and choose what they want, selective amnesia, and we're not doing that on here. So look, man, I'm about to be out of here, man. B, Christian, and everybody else, man. The 405 people that I see on here right now between Twitter and Instagram. Definitely appreciate everybody for tapping in. I didn't know I was coming in today somebody hit me, was like, hey, you need to go ahead and go. So I said, hey, I do what you guys want to do. If you guys say go live, I go live. I'll go live 5 times a week if I had to. But hey, we do what we do. So look, man, until later on, listen, everybody, hey, you too. I appreciate you coming in, Lamilla. You always have good comments as well. Doing the video throughout the week on your videos, doing on my videos. You always have great comments. So look, I'm out of here, man. Later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.
Right on.